You know what time it is, everybody. You know what time it is. It's Mike, of course, from Big Fat Ghost, Vinyl. And I'm coming at you with a great album today. A great one. What we have here is 1969's Stand Up by Jethro Tull. Oh boy. Ian Anderson and the gang are here, and they're here to stay. Let me tell you something about this album. In terms of 1969, I think a lot of bands were finding their sound that would become huge in the 70s. Obviously Zeppelin, obviously bands like Santana, bands like King Crimson, all had their debuts in the 69 year. Pause. What can you say about 69 though? I mean, that's one of the best years of music, regardless, but that's not my point. My point here is we have bands coming up and sounds evolving and basically exploding onto the scene. I think Stand Up, while it's not their debut, that would be This Was from the year prior. Stand Up is easily one of my favorite Jethro Tull records. They've had a huge output, so I think most fans would probably agree with me. It's probably in their top 5. And I think this album probably gets compared a lot to Benefit, which is right here over my right shoulder. That's a hard one. That's a great discussion. I think it's, do you like classic rock, hard tinged riffage, or do you like more bluesy folk? Your discretion, but we got the bluesy folk today with Stand Up. This album is awesome. I actually might be partial to it over Benefit. I think Benefit has higher highs, but this album has some pastoral songs and some just great moments overall that really, to me, make it more of a compacted experience. So let's get some notes going. This album is certified gold, 500,000 units moved in the United States. It was released 25th of July, 1969, as I said. Obviously, it's a benchmark year. So many things going on. I think another crazy important milestone that Stand Up may elicit was the introduction of Martin Barre on guitar here. Martin Barre is one of the most underrated guitarists that I've ever heard. And I think you could say that as well about Jethro Tull as a whole, but I could get into that discussion for hours. I think in terms of mainstream, they're one of the most underrated bands in terms of their output and how many masterpieces they had, and how talented and just solid they were as a band. I think they get kind of swept away. But hey, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about their album Stand Up, which is a blues rock classic. Personnel-wise, we have Ian Anderson on vocals, obviously the spearhead of the band. Ian Anderson's one of those musical geniuses everybody knows and loves. Of course, the eccentric flute playing virtuoso we know and love. He's on vocals, flute, acoustic guitar, and a whole breadth of different instruments. Of course, we have Martin Barre, like I mentioned, on guitar here. Incredible. We have Glenn Cormack on bass, and then we have Clive Bunker on drums. And, I'm recording this on Friday the 13th. So I kind of wanted to find a spooky album. I kind of wanted to find something, scary. And I was thinking, what could I find scary about Stand Up? The production. The production on this album is is not great, guys. I'm gonna be honest. At least on this original pressing I have, a lot of it sounds muddy. A lot of the vocals are just kind of lost in the mix, and some of the songs are just not the volume they should be. But besides that, this is a no skip album. This is a pickup. It is a great album. So let's get into the track listing here. So the album starts off with New Day here, and this song has an awesome bass riff, awesome guitar riff, sweeping throughout the whole song. Very bluesy, very bluesy. Very good. Starts off great here. I think what you notice with these first two Tull albums, Ian does something with his voice. He has like a higher register he sings in. And I think it's good. Like with this album, they're finding their sound. So I mean, I prefer his vocals. If I had to say what album, Passion Play, or maybe Song from the Wood. I love his voice on those two albums. But getting ahead of myself here. My point being is he has this kind of higher tone that he sings on these songs, and it works well. So just to mention it. But yeah, New Day, it's just great bar solo here. We got great bluesy tones here. And of course, haven't mentioned it once. Actually, I didn't mention it, but the obvious cornerstone, the flute. Great flute. Great flute on this album. How could it not be? Moving on, we have Jeffrey goes to Lancaster Square, I believe. And I'm just going to say flat out, I think this is the weakest song on the album. I think it's good. Like I said, there's no skips on this album. Ian is playing a balalaika. I think it's like a Russian sort of guitar here, and it has an interesting sound. But I don't know. It's just it's good. Of course, there's more flute playing, but I gotta say the most interesting thing about this song, and you would know it if you're a Sabbath head as I am, is Tony Iommi filling in on this song for the Rolling Stones Circus in 1969, or 68, would have been 68 or 69, right? I think something was going on with the guitarist in Tull, and none other than the Riff Master General, Tony Iommi, filled in for him. And, I mean, that's a thought, guys. I mean, imagine if Tony stayed with Tull. I don't know. You could have hours discussions. Of course, being how history went, it would have kind of sucked. We would have missed out on some masterpieces. We would have missed out on a lot of great heavy metal albums. But the point is, it happened, and it's a great little piece of trivia. So, Jeffrey is a song. It's good, but what's following is better. We have Boré, and Boré is... It's a cover of Johann Sebastian Bach's orchestral classical composition. And I honestly think this is probably the best track, but since it's a cover, I'm going to give the nod to other tracks. But I think it's the best done track on the album, and I think if I had to take one song, it's like you can only take one song from Stand Up, everything else is in the trash. What is the takeaway track? It's probably Boré. Boré is really awesome. Instrumental track. It's certainly a highlight. Great top shelf flute solo by Ian here. Probably one of his best flute works I've ever heard. And obviously great bass licks and guitar tones here. Awesome song. Just, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, you're just like walking through a forest. I mean, this album is very pastoral in that sense, but I get the vibe of like just walking through a forest on an adventure. That's kind of the album aesthetic that Stand Up gives me, versus, a Benefit, which is more a rockin' through the streets of London, i.e. To Cry You a Song, right? But yeah, I mean, Bore's awesome. I mean, but like I said, I'm probably going to give the nod to some other songs in my ranking at the end. Next, to finish off side A, we have Back to the Family. And this is probably maybe the best song as well. I've been saying that a lot. That's how you know it's a great album. But this song in particular, I think, gives you a taste of what's to come with Tull. And there's a jam at the end of this song. Probably the best part of the whole album. It's just an epic, awesome jam with some great guitar work and flute interludes. So, and it's heavy. It's heavy. And that's what Tull is all about, guys. I mean, it's Tull is about mixing the folky. I don't think kitschy's the word. I'm thinking Canterbury scene. It's not Canterbury. I'm blanking on the word, but it's it's English. It's British folk, but you with a sledgehammer. Maybe not this album. We'll get there with later albums. But there are hints of it, especially on a song like Back to the Family. There's a very heavy tones here, and it's awesome. So that's the end of side A. And side A is great. But I think side B has probably my favorite song on it. Coming up here. We have Look for the Sun. Distorted vocals by Anderson here. Honestly, another great showcase of Tull's synergy and their talents here. Really, I think this song is just a great tune. I mean, great acoustic interplay with the harder guitar. So, yeah, I mean, nothing really more to say. That the distorted vocals are pretty cool on that one. And yeah, I think before I get any further, I'd be remiss to not show the fact that I messed up because Look for the Sun is actually on side A. I apologize, but it's a perfect segue to showcase this incredible gatefold. Look at that. They're having a good time. I'm having a good time. Awesome. It makes the album. This would be a 3 album if they didn't have that. There you go, too, ladies. Point being, though, Look for the Sun is the last song on side A. My apologies. So we start off side B with Nothing is Easy. Ain't that the truth, right? I wish everything was as easy as reviewing fucking, excuse my French, records. But, you know, I'm trying to make it a challenge for myself, so let's try to talk about Nothing is Easy here. Starts off side B. Have here, great bar solo. Great showcase of the band's energy and their talents. You know, I sound like a broken record here because I said the same thing. So here's the thing. I'm right and I'm wrong because here's the thing. This album is a great showcase of the band. And that's what they did. They stood up. Let's be honest. And, you know, it could be meta, but here's the thing. Ian Anderson and the gang, they stood up here. Because if you ask anybody, this wasn't it. Right? It might be, it was, but it's not it. Stand Up's it. Stand Up is an awesome album. Benefit's an awesome album. Aqualung is a masterpiece, right? And then that is just, God, I didn't even get to that one. Oh, Jesus. So they stood up and they showcased their talents, is the point. This band, really, really, really came to the plate with this album. And I think Boré being the big hit off of it, it's fine, right? It's a cover, but we have songs here like Going Back to the Family and Nothing is Easy, Look for the Sun, and We Used to Know, which is my favorite song, but we're getting there. It's just hard to rank this album, right? Everything's pretty good. And then we have the very, very exotic sounding, interesting sounding Fat Man. And oh, I love this song. This song is just a great energy. Got like this jingling mandolin going and great bongos or percussion or whatever it is. It's very, very fun sounding. And the lyrics are pretty funny too. Probably couldn't get away with some of these things you were saying about fat people today. But it's basically Ian saying how much it would suck to be fat besides Newton's first law of gravity. Where's that? The second law. Whatever relates to velocity. That's basically all fat people have going for themselves, according to Ian Anderson. So, good to know. It's all fun, though. It's a good song. It's interesting. I don't think really Tull ever kind of went back to this sound, though. So, but there's a lot of Tull I haven't listened to. There's a lot of Tull that's just right under the surface. You gotta look for it. And then, of course, I've been jerking it off the whole fucking review. We Used to Know. If there isn't a song that could sing enough praise to Martin Barre and their songwriting skill at this point in time, it's this. It's probably one of my favorite Tull songs, period. Definitely from this album, if I'm just going to be honest. It's just soaring, great solos, great twin guitar attack. Where am I thinking of to cry you a song? I don't know if this song has twin guitars. It's really just like two great solos interplayed with some just awesome verses by Anderson. So, but we get to the corner where it's ironic because actually the production flaws showcase here, and this song is just weirdly quiet. Whatever, maybe it's an excuse to turn it up more, but I've just noticed that the production here is a little iffy. Who cares? That's why Steven Wilson, that's why he exists. Sorry, Porcupine Tree. It just undermined your existence. And then we have Reasons for Waiting, and this song, probably my pick for the best deep cut. Really, really just, it sounds confessional. It sounds just beautiful. It sounds like you're walking along with somebody. Maybe it's a lover, who knows. Awesome song here. And then it's got some string instruments added to the score as well that only make it that much better. Great song there. And then that song probably should have ended the album because then we go into 4,000 Mothers. And I think this song, once again, it's the production, the mix on it's a little iffy with the vocals. But besides that, it's a great showcase of Tull's power here. And then it has a fake out at the end, which is pretty cool. And the flute comes back in with all sorts of power, and it's awesome. But not one of my favorite tracks on this album. It's a great album, guys. It's definitely a pickup. If you're a Tull fan and you only listen to like Aqualung maybe, or you've gotten into, just Tull in general, this is an excellent place to start. I'd start from here. I have everything from here to Stormwatch. And I know I can get more, but I think that's the golden period with a few caveats. I mean, you have, Too Old to Rock and Roll. What is it? What's that one? War Child. Everything else is excellent, ranging from great to masterpiece. And that was like a decade of music. So I mean, that's what I'm saying when with Toll, they kind of get put by the wayside with a lot of people who, champion Zeppelins per se, or champions just strictly the Beatles, or like, and it's not even like a prog question, because sure, Toll is definitely prog. I mean, they're prog, but is this album prog? No, actually, I don't think this album is progressive at all in the sense of the genre. I mean, it's progressive in the sense of their sound and finding their sound. Is it a masterpiece? No. Is it an excellent album? Yes. 8.1. I think 8.1 is about right. And the thing is, 8.1, I almost feel kind of bad giving it, but I know it will only go up from here towards a certain point. Benefit for me, it's gonna be hard for me to give that lower than 8.1. I might just because I could talk about it then. I don't want to talk about it now. I think that has higher highs, like I said. But for me, Stand Up is a perfect blues rock album. Really, really just enjoyable, comfortable, and I guess illuminating. There's Toll albums I like more for the reasons that this one points towards. So yeah, 8.1 for me. And I have to say, if you want to get into a band and you don't know anything about Toll, they're they might be that band for you, because they have such a deep catalog and such a enjoyable sound. But I could talk about it all day. So yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Once again, this is Mike from Big Fat Ghost Vinyl. Tune again soon for another classic rock slash fusion slash prog review. Probably thinking I'm going to do some rap soon. I got a couple rap albums I'm thinking, but I'm not sure right now. Yeah. Have a good one.